She takes very good photographs of them and she makes profit on them. And then she puts it back into more rings.
This one should be a 18-carat white gold diamond ring. That's really pretty.
But there is one ring in her collection she didn't purchase herself.
This one is what my husband bought me just recently, and I love it to death. I paid a lot of money for it, and I'd like to know what the highest price I could get for it, and if I could get a price that I would be happy with. I would consider selling it and getting something slightly bigger, slightly better. I would be happy with 8 carats, which is quite considerably bigger than this. This is just 1 point off 5 carats.
Peter paid £20,000 for the gift.
Am I a little bit disappointed she's going to sell the ring? No, because if you can make a decent profit on that ring and she can turn it into an even better ring, theoretically, I've bought her the better ring.
I wouldn't sell this for less than £30,000. It's easy worth that, so £30,000 would be the absolute lowest I would take for it.
Margot loves big, clear, sparkling rings. And she wants to own the biggest ring in the world. And the way she's going at the moment, buying and selling the ring, I wouldn't be surprised if she has a ring on the size of a tennis ball within the next 10 years. Absolutely.
But will the pawn shop think that the ring is worth the £30,000 the couple want, so Margot can upgrade to an even bigger one?
Let's have a kiss.
This is a lie.
Yeah.
In the pawn industry, when big names come in,
with Garrard's, he's got potential, a very nice, valuable item.
valuation can be straightforward.
You can't go wrong with Chanel and Hermes. Easy to resell.
But today, James has been sent something a little more unusual.
Joe, you ain't going to believe what's come in here. Come and have a look. It's basically a giant speaker on wheels.
Oh.
A DJ van. Apparently,
Alright.
it puts out the same decibels as a fighter jet.
Oh, I'm glad he doesn't live near me. I like hearing the birds at this age. Who would want
You're
it?
a lot silly pulling up a bingo in that, wouldn't you?
I haven't quite got that end yet.
Well, you know what I mean.
It's so insulting.
No, I'm right. I'm with you on that. I mean, what would we do with that? I don't know anyone who plays any music anymore. Put your name all over it.
That hasn't making me tired just looking at it.
The DJ van belongs to 32-year-old Alex.
We had to test the sound level, didn't we? Yeah. Just outside the offices.
And his business partner, 36-year-old Raz.
It'd be sad to see that van go.
Yeah.
There's nothing like that out there. It's just
There ain't nothing like that in the
the
market.
right person who sees that are going to fall straight in love with it.
Alex and Raz have run a car hire and sales company in West London for the last 4 years.
OK, just need 4 squiggles from you, Richard. Me and Raz were friends before we worked together. There was an opportunity to become partners with him. And it's been amazing, to be honest. Making a cup of tea, for one.
You caught me out slacking again, eh?
Yeah, it's all right, Raz, I don't want a cup of tea.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm all right.
I think I spend more time with Alex than I do with my wife sometimes.
She's going to try that car for today. If she doesn't get on with it, she's going to swap over into another one tomorrow. Good to see you, Richard.
You too. Take care.
Raffle, take care.
Competing for business in a crowded industry, Alex and Raz decided to get noticed by making some noise.
So we come across the DJ van about 3 or 4 years ago. Next minute, you know, it's part of the fleet.
The Mercedes van is kitted out with 6 high-performance subwoofers, 13 speakers, a state-of-the-art mixer and 2 DJ decks.
You've got 30,000 watts being generated here. It's equivalent to an F-15 fighter jet taking off. The amount of sound and bass that comes through this is just phenomenal. This vehicle is the real deal. There's nothing else like it. It's absolutely deafening. When you actually hear this thing going at full capacity, it's frightening, to be honest.
Alex and Raz paid £35,000 for the van, but now want the money to reinvest in their business.
We're looking to take on new personnel. We've got some new fleet coming on. We paid $35,000 just under a year ago, and we're looking to get exactly what we paid for it. We don't want to be greedy. You know, it served its purpose for us, and we just want our money back out of it, to be honest.
For this, they need James's help.
I don't think we're going to sell this vehicle from just anybody just walking past and having a look at it. This vehicle is pretty niche.
But will James be impressed enough by the DJ van to help Alex and Raz find a buyer?
Mitsubishi plug-in hybrid, changing perceptions with documentaries on 4.
Bring your home and garden to life with amazing prices this spring at Homebase. This Bosch electric rotary lawnmower is only £85, and this Jumbuck Nimbus 2-burner gas barbecue just £106.48. This Jasmine Pyramid is only £14.97, and this Marley sofa set just £299.94. Homebase.
Many of the pawn shop's clients come in with eclectic groups of items.
I've been emptying out my wardrobe. Oh, God.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11.
And a very specific asking price in mind.
The weight it came to about 3,000, I think.
Which they hope will help them realise a very particular goal.
We're short about 50 grand in total that we need to finish off the project to the right standard.
Today at head office, James is handling an inquiry from a man trying to power up a new business.
I've just been speaking to a client. He sounds like a mad inventor. He's working out of a garage at his mother's house, and apparently he's got a bicycle that's electric and does 45 miles an hour. He sent me a guitar, a Rolex watch and a piece of art, and he wants to raise some money to put towards the development of his electric bike. I'd like to go out there and, well, pretend I'm looking at these assets, but really I want to have a go on his bike.
Well, that should fit. I can actually hear it, so a bit of brake strength and ignorance is what's required.
The electric bike is the brainchild of 56-year-old inventor David, who lives in Surrey.
I think eccentric's good, really. You know, why not? People who think out of the box are my favourite kind of people.
David makes his living as a carpenter, but spends much of his spare time tinkering in his mother's garage.
Literally, I'll just make it up as I go along, so this is my favourite way to work, because even if you make a plan, it never goes to plan. Like this, I've got a flat drill. It is in my nature to tinker. I never leave anything alone, really. Doesn't necessarily make you popular sometimes.
Last year, David ran into trouble, which inspired his latest invention.
Some months ago, I got disqualified from driving for speeding. I knew I was going to lose my licence, so I decided to build this electric bike purely for my own transport, and it worked a treat. It cost 18p a day to run. Everywhere I went on it, people were pulling me aside, beeping at me, asking where they could get one. 2 who've actually chased me down in their cars and say, where do I get one of those? Another one was a policeman who stopped me and asked me to slow down, and he ordered one. I can't make them fast enough, really.
So David wants to turn his invention into a business.
This is my dream retirement job. I don't want to be out on site as a carpenter anymore. I want to be in the workshop, just doing what I love, creating these. Up until now, I've only been able to build one at a time, because I can only afford one motor at a time.
Now a situation has arisen that could help him raise some much-needed funds.
My mother's downsizing house. She's moving from this house to a house maybe half the size on the other side of town. Just in the back of the drawers here, I found a stainless steel Rolex Oyster from, I don't know, I think the 60s. This Max Chapman painting that I've never given a second look until recently, to be honest. Even if I only realised the 500 quid it cost in 1979, that still, for me, means that I can build another 2 electric motorcycles and I can crack on.
He's also got a Fender Stratocaster guitar.
It's the original 1940s pattern and shape. I've seen them for as little as £700 and I've seen them upwards of £2,000, £3,000. It would make such a lot of difference to this project. This thing has to be self-starting. I won't spend any of my money that I should be spending on my children. Days gone past, I've got myself into trouble with piling money into madcap schemes. I want to raise the money this way so that it's something that doesn't make a dent in their lives.
But will David's eclectic collection raise the £2,000 to £3,000 he needs to kickstart his electric bike business? A crucial part of the pawn shop's business is dealing in artwork.
Blimey. Wow, they're pretty pert, aren't they?
And handling well-known pieces can often be profitable.
The item will be worth 90 grand.
That's the best news I've ever had.
In Hatton Garden, Michael is dealing with a client who is looking to sell a Salvador Dali sculpture.
We had a recent inquiry from someone looking to raise money for the church, which seems like quite a nice cause. It's not an original one of Dali, unfortunately. That would be quite nice if that was. This is an addition of 350. It will make an interesting feature piece in someone's house.
The sculpture belongs to Kenyan-born Bishop Joseph and his wife Reverend Catherine, who helped to run a charity in South London.
Are you enjoying yourself?
Our vision is to reach the unreachable, touch the untouchable, and love the unlovable.
I've grown up in the church. When I went to high school, I had an opportunity to be an evangelist. This one reminds me the great day I was consecrated as a bishop. That is the color for a bishop. You must have a cross and you must have that color. That color has a lot of meaning. There was also another day I will never forget. You can see that time we were very young and also handsome and beautiful. We help people in England. We do help the homeless by way of feeding, by way of clothing, and also by way of supporting in form of counseling. We are in Africa as well. We have a football team, and I'm happy to report we are 2 steps away to get to Kenya Premier League. Some of them are orphans, and we are happy to bring them together.
When it comes to helping out in the community, Bishop Joseph and Reverend Catherine are hands-on.
Today is an exciting day where we are doing our feeding program.
We'll have some sandwiches, soup and tea.
It's a whole mix of people. Some of them, they are well-wishers. We have several homeless and also refugees as well. And you, my sister, how are you?
Yeah, fine.
You're from where?
I'm from Albania.
Oh, from Albania. Wow. At least seeing people happy, that's my joy. Because some of them came here, it was cold, it was chilly, but now they are happy.
Bishop Joseph and Reverend Catherine are also involved in charity work overseas and plan to visit projects in person.
Visit 2 homes in a place called Katondo, and we also visit some homes also in Nairobi. Next week we are going to Kenya because we want to go and put a smile on the face to children. With the orphans, we take clothes, we take food. For us is one of the things that so fulfills our lives because we want to share whatever little we have with those ones who don't have anything.
To fund their trip to Kenya, the couple are looking to sell the first sculpture ever donated to the charity.
This sculpture was donated to us by a well-wisher. When we got the sculpture, I was wondering, what is this? Straight away, I researched. It was designed by Salvador, Dali. Wow, I was really shocked.
Whatever amount of money we will get from this sculpture, it will make a big difference.
To us, that sculpture is a gift, and it's a gift that is going to be extended to many.
It's now up to Michael to find a client with a taste for Dali who's willing to move quickly. In the heart of London's jewellery district, statement pieces come through the door every day.
Joy speaking.
Oh, nice. Wow. The size of that. What are they looking for?
100,000.
But occasionally something a little more out of the ordinary turns up.
And it's a stuffed fish in a glass case.
And today is one of those days.
No, listen. Guys, can you hear that thudding? It's really loud. What is it?
Car salesman Alex and his business partner Raz want £35,000 for their DJ van, so Alex has brought it to the pawn shop, hoping a demo will impress James.
Jesus, listen to that.
Look at that fella's face.
Got out the front and saw this DJ van, and all the neighbours had come out of their shops. I was thinking, oh no, they're going to love this.
So this is the disco van, is it?
The disco van. This is it.
Causing a bit of a stir, isn't it? You can turn it up a little bit, can you? I can't hear it. Yeah, pump it up. No, it's DJ, not bread making. Made a couple of pizzas.
Rub that in there.
I'll have a margarita.
Oh, how funny.
How much do you want for this?
We want 35,000 plus the VAT.
35 plus VAT?
Yeah.
How old is the van itself?
The van's 2011. It's never been driven, it's always been trailered everywhere, so it's only got 1,600 miles on the clock.
Right, how much was the van when it was just a standard van?
I think the standard van is about, when it was brand new, was about 25.
Right, and how much was that bit of kit you put in it?
The bit of kit in there's about 25 grand in there.
So you got 50 grand's worth of gear and you're looking for 35 grand?
35 plus the VAT, yeah.
There was no doubt about it, the DJ van was absolutely stunning, and when Alex mentioned the numbers, I got really quite excited.
I'm just thinking who we could sell it to.
That's why we got in contact with you.
That's our problem if we... Right, well, I think you've got his attention. That's always a good thing.
Yeah, I'm liking that. My mum's looking for a new car. We're going to put our thinking hats on and see what we can do.
See what we can do. No, thank you for bringing it down.
Thanks for coming down.
Lovely
yeah, and
to
you,
hear
mate.
it.
Yeah,
Nice
thanks
to meet
for coming
you.
down.
We'll be in touch, yeah?
Lovely. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Cheers. I'm glad that they liked it, you know, the feedback was good from them, so fingers crossed they can find someone for it.
Well, 35 grand is a lot of money, but it's a lot of van, and there's a lot of noise coming out of it. It's just a matter of finding the right person.
Something more typical of the pawn shop's trade is being appraised by manager Alicia, diamond lover Margot's ring.
Even though the certificate seems quite accurate when it comes to the size, it mentions it's an emerald cut, and the picture of a stone looks a bit different to the one I'm holding. This is an emerald cut stone. This isn't.
Hi, Alicia.
Hi. Have you got a second?
Yeah. What have you got?
The customer provided us with a copy of a certificate, but they don't match up, unfortunately. It's not actually the same stone.
Oh, OK. And the customer's given you a price for this?
Yes, £30,000.
And is she basing that information on this? To be honest with you, if it had been that ring, that probably is looking at 30 grand. OK, so look, I'll keep hold of these. If you want to get back to the client and let her know that that doesn't belong to this ring.
OK.
Lovely. All right, cheers, Alicia, thanks.
So with the certificate not matching up, Alicia must now value the ring based on its merits. This morning, Bishop Joseph and Reverend Catherine are bringing in their Dali sculpture for Michael to assess.
I think I recognise this. Can I have a look?
Yeah, sure.
Tell me a bit about this.
We are trying to raise some funds through it because we want to give so many people a smile.
Fantastic.
Really, we wanted money quite fast on the basis that we are going to feed some homeless children.
About a week we have and get you some money.
If possible.
Yeah.
If possible.
Okay.
Thank you so
Thanks
much.
So much for coming in.
Thank you.
It's a tight time frame, but that's not the only thing worrying Michael.
We'll try our best and get the highest possible price. Because the market is completely saturated with Dali, 90% of the time they're worthless. I have seen this edition come up at auction quite frequently, so we do have an idea of what they go for, but the range is quite massive. But it was a gift, and I think by the sounds of it, they're just looking to get as much as possible. The money is for a good cause, so it's charitable, and to that end, we'll try and get the best price possible.
With the money urgently needed for the couple's charity trip, Michael will have to work quickly.
Mitsubishi plug-in hybrid. Changing perceptions with documentaries on 4.
Morning in Hatton Garden.
Thanks, Joy. Did you spill the milk on the way up?
No, I don't want you to drink too much.
You don't want me to drink too much milk?
Yeah.
Thanks. It's like Guinness. Did you get Guinness?
I'm more easygoing than you.
In Surrey, inventor David is hoping to cash in some assets to invest in his electric bike business.
The more I can raise on these items, the happier I'll be, and I'm just hot to trot. I want to get on with it.
David's hoping to raise £2,000 to £3,000, and boy toy lover James has decided to visit him personally.
He's invented an electric bike, basically, and he wants to pump some money into the development of that. It does 50 miles an hour, this bike, apparently. It's quite interesting, because it sounds a little bit dangerous, and if there's an opportunity to jump on it, you know, it'll be a good day out.
But first, James has to look at the items David wants to sell.
James, how do you do, mate?
How are you? All right.
Yeah, come on in. Do you want to start with the painting?
All right. What can you tell me about this?
Well, it doesn't do anything for me at all.
Looks a little bit like Rising Damp.
I believe it's one of a series of 7. 2 in this palette, i.e. in this run, are in the National Collection. There's actually Providence on the back.
Right.
Here. Moulton Gallery. This was 500 quid in 1979.
Well, that was a lot of money then.
It's an awful lot of money.
Yeah. That's potentially got some legs. What else have you got?
This Fender that's been mine for quite a few years, and I've played an awful lot. It's a 50-year anniversary model.
It's a celebration model, is it?
It's a celebration model. And it's got a different profile neck.
Might be slightly rarer.
It's slightly rarer.
The Fender and the art, is that it?
No, actually. Well, while I remember, there's a little bit of what might be treasure.
Treasure? Well, I like treasure.
Late 50s, 60s, stainless steel oyster.
Well, some of these can be worth quite a lot of money. I mean, the problem with that is the bracelet is completely knackered. It's so stretched.
Yeah.
What do you want the money for?
For my electric motorbike company.
So you're developing, or have you made these electric?
I've made several of them.
Really?
I've got my prototype here.
Well, let's.
If you'd like to have a look.
Yeah, I wouldn't mind.
Yeah, sure.
Although I went round David's to look at the antiques and the art, it was the bike that floated my boat. I really wanted to try it out.
This is my everyday transport, all charged up and ready to go. Horn.
That's nice.
Backlight as well. If you look at that, if you can actually identify what I've, let's say, upcycled that out of.
Don't tell me. Don't tell me just yet. Ain't got a clue.
It's a soup ladle. I couldn't find a vintage light for it. It was too expensive. So
I'm going to be riding around on a soup ladle?
Absolutely.
I love it. It's mad, isn't it? All right, well, I'm up for it. You know me. I think the bike was a work of art. I really needed to get on it and try it out.
Just in case there's any traffic.
Fantastic.
And literally hit the trigger and off you go.
Well, it's been lovely chatting. Oh, there I go. Mind out, kids. Yeah, I'm picking up speed. This electric bike was absolutely phenomenal. It whizzed along at such a rate, I couldn't quite believe it.
Brake nice and early, James.
I'll tell you what, this brings a smile to my face. It's amazing what you can do with a spatula and a couple of soup ladles. Yeah, I'm loving this. The wind in my hair, the open road. I sort of forgot myself when I was on the bike. I'm sure I looked like a raving lunatic going up and down this road on that thing. This is fantastic. You've done brilliantly well with this, and I can see why you want to get the money to put this into production properly. Sure. This is just a great bit of kit. What I'm going to do is I'm going to appraise the art and the watch, and I'm going to come back to you with some numbers. Thanks for your time today, and I'll sort the other bits out. Lovely.
Fantastic.
Thank you.
Cheers, mate.
At this stage, I really don't know whether these pieces are worth 500 quid or 10 grand, so we're going to have to look into it, and it's going to take some time, but we've got the information we need now, and we'll let David know in the coming days.
In Hatton Garden, Alicia has had to go back to the drawing board after discovering jewellery collector Margot's diamond ring doesn't match the certificate it came in with.
I think she based her expectations on the certificate. Not being a diamond specialist, obviously this is where she gets her knowledge from. Unfortunately, we have to disregard the paperwork and value the ring on its own, which makes the appraisal process a bit more difficult and not so straightforward.
Margot is hoping for £30,000 for the diamond ring. But before Alicia finalises a price...
Bye, Josephine.
See you. Enjoy yourself.
James wants to get a second opinion from jewellery expert Ian.
We've assessed it, we've got a value in our heads, but the good thing about having Ian on your doorstep is you can pop round and see him and he'll give you his opinion. And to be quite honest with you, 9 times out of 10 he gets it spot on. Ian.
Hello.
How are you?
My goodness, how are you?
Not bad, you all right?
Good, yeah.
We're looking at sparklers.
Darling, always sparkling. Look at this, I'm sparkling with this. This has just come in.
Beautiful.
Isn't it lovely?
You going to have that one?
I think so.
Why not?
Why not?
You only live once, don't you? Now look, the problem with that one, unfortunately, is that the client has turned up with a copy of a certificate that she says comes with it, and it doesn't seem to be
That's
right.
not the same stone.
No.
Nothing like it.
No.
And I suppose she paid a lot of money for that.
She's given a pretty penny for it, but she's looking to sell it on. But it's quite a clean stone, isn't it?
It's clean, but James, when you get it in the right light, you can see how yellow it is. Wow.
You like it, don't you?
I don't mind a bit of colour in my stone. It doesn't bother me. But for an investment person, no. They're going to complain.
What do you think about the saleability of it?
90% of the people want a round stone. But because it's so lively, I think the possibility of selling it is quite strong.
So clarity is good. It's got size going for it.
Definitely got the size going for it. But your problem is colour and the cut.
Lovely. It's been a pleasure.
It's nice to have you coming up.
Yeah,
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Ian. Cheers,
Enjoy.
mate. Thank you very much. Well, look, he's given us his honest opinion. We always knew this was going to be a tough one, and now I've got to go back, make some decisions, and call the client.
In Weybridge, history and memorabilia expert Lawrence is researching the value of inventor David's Max Chapman painting and Fender guitar.
It's a Japanese Fender Stratocaster, 1946 to 1996 50-year anniversary model in baby blue. Are they any... No, I didn't think it would be. The fact is, it's basically a copy, isn't it? Cheers, Ron. Bye-bye. Well, that's off to a bad start already. It is only basically a copy of a famous guitar. So 1962, a great year for arts, a great year for wine, and a great year for the population, because I was born. And the first thing, whenever you look at a painting, is to actually look at the back. All you've got is actually the gallery sticker, we actually bought it. This is actually a bigger piece, very similar. So the actual initial estimate's 500 to 700. It's not looking great on this artist, to be quite honest with you, because 50% haven't sold, and a further 25% of that have all sold for under 300. The guitar's not great, so really any value or any money we can do is really going to be based on Monica getting a good value on this Rolex watch.
After an initial appraisal, Richmond branch manager Monica is taking the watch to an expert to get a second opinion.
He is very, very knowledgeable and specialised in all vintage watches. I love vintage watches, but, you know, I cannot compare his knowledge. Hello.
Monica.
How are you?
All right, how are you?
Good to see you.
And you? So what have you bought today?
It's a Datejust,
Okay.
1946.
Normally, really early ones have got, hands like that, dagger hands. The dial's fairly early because it's got a step going all the way around it. Can you see that little step? The shape of the markers are little triangles, and that indicates it's early too. On very early ones, the date goes black, red, so it does it on this one. It's not flipped red, so it's probably not 40s.
How is it?
We have to look further. There could be a date stamp in the case back. Let's get inside it and have a good look. There's a tiny little date stamp. And what it says, looking closely, it says 1159.
Oh, no, it says 59.
Okay, so yeah, 1959, the second quarter of 1959. It's not a particularly rare model, but really beautiful.
Well, thank you very
That's
much
okay.
one more time, and
Take
see
care.
you next time.
See you
Thanks.
soon.
Inventor David wants £2,000 to £3,000, but will his guitar, painting and watch be worth that much? Alex and Raz are back at head office to see if James can spin them a deal on their bespoke DJ van.
I've done a lot of work on it. The guys have been searching high and low for a buyer. They might just look favourably on my offer, so we'll have to wait and see.
35,000 is what we paid for it, and that's what we're looking to get for it. We know it's probably worth more.
It's probably worth more than that, yeah.
Hi there. Here to see James.
Grab a seat.
Thanks, mate.
Is the van outside?
No, we didn't bring it today.
You've tucked it away, have you?
Yeah, it's under wraps.
So, I mean, look, it was great to see it on the day that he brought it down, and Joe being quite keen on dancing, you know, she soon got into a rhythm. I don't know if you noticed that. She was sort of harking back to her old disco days. All right, well, look, I have got some news for you. It's not as though it's, you know, a van for a couple of grand. It's a big number. I've got to tell you now that we haven't got someone for it, so it's not going to be a matter of me transferring 35 grand plus that over today. But on the positive side, I've got another option for you. If you want to raise some capital against it and you need to pump it into something else, we can lend you £20,000 secured against the van to see you through to do whatever you want with.
Yeah, appreciate your offer on it. It's not something I don't think we're looking for as a logbook loan.
Right. Keep in touch, and if you're passing again, come past with a van and we'll have a street party out there. Fantastic,
Yeah,
brilliant
thanks,
item. Thanks for coming in.
That's all right.
And yeah, if you change your mind about that 20 grand, it's always on the table.
Thanks,
so.
James. Appreciate it, James.
Right, cheers.
Nice one.
Thanks. I'll walk you out anyway.
Thanks, mate.
Just in case you steal anything. Well, for me, it's always a disappointment when we can't close a deal. They left with a smile on their face, which is always a positive. Much better than them leaving crying their eyes out. And we've had that in the past, I must admit.
Obviously, I'd love him to say, yeah, there's 35,000 plus the VAT and happy days, but realistically, we knew that wasn't going to be the case.
It's such a unique piece of kit. It'll go.
Joe obviously is going to be a bit disappointed at the fact that we don't own it, because she can dance like Wacko Jacko, but has got no music to do it to.